We are joined over by the wonderful Nigel. Nigel, tell us about the company that you run.
So I run Council for Aluminium and Building.
Yep.
We're a membership body for anyone who deals with aluminium in the built environment. So majority of our members are fabricators or systems houses, and we look at legislation as well as technical issues within the marketplace.
So going back to aluminium at the show this year seems to be a huge thing. Are the days of us thinking we want a wood door because it looks so lovely, and and then 6 weeks later you're like, well, you got to coat it, now you got to sand it, now you got to repaint it. Aluminium is the way forward by the looks of things, but very much on trend as well at the moment.
I think so, and the key thing is with aluminium, one, the coating's still on there forever. I mean, 90% of aluminium ever produced is still in circulation, still being used in its initial use, but also it's infinitely recyclable. So every time you're using aluminium or recycling aluminium, you're only using 5% of the carbon that was in it in the first place. And people are starting to see that, and the myriad of finishes you can have, different products, it's very easy to form. You extrude it in any shape where you want.
Yeah.
So people are really grasping it, and I think now the homeowners have understood that actually the sleek look from aluminium really works for them. Yeah. And the days of the 70s where we had condensation and it was horrible, are long gone, and they're now starting to realise that actually now it's a really, really innovative product.
Do you think that's because homeowners have suddenly come around to looking at maybe greener ways of looking after their homes? Maybe we're all a little bit more conscious of the way we had our homes built before, and thinking, because I think a lot of us changed our homes in lockdown. I think lockdown changed a lot of things. We all started going, we need new windows. I think people started to then open their minds about what else was around, what else was available. And actually, we don't have to carry on having our house or our windows and our doors the same way we've had for, like you say, since the 70s.
I think the other thing is people are a lot more savvy now, so they're on, Google's fantastic. They're actually investigating what they're doing. They're looking what's in the marketplace. They want to be slightly different. They don't want Mr. and Mrs. Jones don't necessarily want what Mr. and Mrs. Smith have got. And I think in Europe it's always been like front doors. I mean, we see a myriad of aluminium doors in the show and composite doors. And people are now realising that in Europe, your key to your house, your key to your family is what your front door is like. And we're now starting to buy into that in the UK. So you go around any estate, no longer it's all the same doors, just in a different colour.
Yeah.
There's a lot more personalisation, and people are realising that actually the entrance to that is really simple, no pun intended. Yeah. You can design your own door online, you can order it online, it gets delivered and it gets installed. It's really simple, and I think that's changed the way people are looking at their houses. They're able to visualise it a lot better with all the tools that are there. People at the show, you just look around. The innovation of designs and products is just fantastic. So.
I mean, yesterday we saw a company. We went and spoke to some guys that actually have installed and come up with a tech system that you can design your own. You literally can design your own, and you can get it down to the final millimeters. And obviously that's for trade as well. But we can all use that. Yep. I want to draw your attention to the U value. I wonder if you could talk us through this, because this is really interesting. I was fascinated by this. Can you explain what the U value is and all these signatures?
So we've launched this at the show. So it's a U-value charter. So in the marketplace, homeowners and everyone is talking about U-values because it's being led by Part L and Future Homes. Yep. So a number of our members got together and really wanted to say something to the market, to say, we do things correctly. Yep. If we say it does 1.2 U-value, it does it, and this is why. So anybody who's signed up to the charter, it's totally sort of like there for them. They're signing up to it to say, if we say we do a U value of X, Y, Z, that's what we do, and we actually calculate that in the correct manner, and it's all independently certified, and they do what they say.
Yeah.
And I think it's really key, because there's a lot of misunderstanding of U values in the marketplace. Yeah. So we're trying to do this as a bit of education as well, so we can actually put a piece out in the general press to say, look, if you ask about a U value, if you've been challenged on the U value, this is what it means. Because a lot of people don't understand what it really does. Yeah. So the U value is about a whole performance of a window or a door. Yeah. But what you've also got to look at is that the UF is the U value of the frame, the UG is the U value of the glass.
So much more.
So those are combined. yeah, there's a lot more to it. It's reflectance. There's a lot in there. It's not just a number that's picked out of fresh air.
Is this what you're talking on tomorrow? Because I know you're going to be bright and early tomorrow. Yes. After a very late night tonight. It's a very special opening evening. Good luck with that tomorrow, Nigel. But tomorrow you're going to be talking over in the theatre. You're going to be hosting a panel.
Yes, we're hosting a panel about supply chain and how important that supply chain is up and down, and the way that as a business, how do you interact with your supply chain? When do you lean on them? When don't you lean on them? What do they give you? What don't they give you? Yeah. And also the importance of recycling. So how important is that to an installer or a trade supplier? Is that something that homeowners or their end customers are now asking for? Because we operate the closed loop recycling scheme for Ali, and it's really starting to come to the fore now. So we're just having a look at the whole supply chain. So hopefully people will be awake and recovered and from the late night tonight.
11 o'clock tomorrow morning? 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Enjoy this evening as well. Thank you so much for talking to us. Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for your time.
And we'll see you tomorrow at 11, hopefully without a hangover. Thanks, Nigel.